Hello everyone, this is NTom64.
And I'm Volkamar.
And welcome to the HellfireComms playthrough of Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus. I thought to myself, shortly before we decided to start this playthrough, there is a criminal lack of non-Mario and non-Sonic 3D platformers on the HFC channel. I mean, you've got Banjo, but besides that, what other furry contingent can you look for? And I said to myself, I saw this, and I said to myself, no, this will not stand. So, what I'm going to do in 2016 is similar to what I did in 2015 with the NES Mega Man games, you know, do all 6 of those in a single year. In 2016, I want to do one Sly Cooper game, one Jak and Daxter game, and one Ratchet and Clank game. Now, we're still in the process of picking out the Jak and Daxter game. I know what I'm doing for Ratchet and Clank, but when it came to Sly Cooper, it was kind of a toss-up between 1 and 3. 2, I'm not really a fan of until you hit Canada, and that's like 3/4 of the way through the game. So I thought, that might not make for an interesting LP, but I'm kind of sort of decent at Sly 1, or at least I can play it proficiently. So, you know, we'll go with something a bit more arcadey and standard 3D platformer for the first Sly playthrough of the channel.
And starting with the first one does make the most sense, to be fair.
Well, you know, we instated that rule saying we can cover it in whatever order we like, but I figured if I went with one I was most comfortable with, that would be best. I do like 3 a lot, but it's kind of like the Spyro 3 or Crash 3 dilemma, where there's a lot of variety, and it kind of dilutes the core gameplay. So, I figured we'd start with this one. It's kind of something to do with fucking antiques, in that it has a live system, which the other games do not.
Ah, lives. Both the problem and solution to all of life's problems.
Antiquated, is that it? I can't say words properly today.
Antiquity, I think, is the word.
Well, we'll find out eventually, I guess. It is a stealth game, obviously. Wouldn't be a raccoon in Paris if it wasn't.
No, not at all. And apparently stealth also requires that we have these blinking blue lights everywhere to tell us where we can go.
Uh-huh. So, what's your history with the Sly Cooper franchise, Volk? Because I basically just plucked you out of the lineup and said, hey, you want to do a game with me? Okay, Tom, but I'll have to actually play the game first.
Well, to be fair, I was already pretty much the whole way through Sly 1 when you asked me, and I was playing a bit of Sly 3 on the side as well, so I can safely say I've played Sly 1 and 3, which are arguably the best games in the series. So, I have a bit of experience, although obviously my forte when it comes to this sort of thing is Ratchet and Clank. But that'll be a tale for another day, I think.
Get used to breaking into vaults. We'll be doing a lot throughout the game. I am going to try and aim for 100%, at least when it comes to clue bowls, but there may be a bit of editing here and there. I'll try and not make it like Splatoon, don't worry.
And one fun fact is about this particular safe is you can actually enter in the code before Bentley tells you what it is.
Nice. Sorry, Bentley, I don't need you, mate. I got game FAQs.
The ultimate accomplice for your crime needs.
Damn, man, that is a good mugshot right there.
Oh yeah, I'd happily put that on my passport photo. And just leave the old calling card there. Sly was here.
Oh yeah. Oh, I figured we were going to get away scot-free, but no. Caught by the fair cop, the long arm of the law, Carmelita Montoya Fox, who weirdly has a different voice actress for every single game she's in.
I guess Carmelita didn't like them and just shot them off screen or something. Just like, I need a new voice actor.
Wait, that's kind of Russian. Isn't she meant to be like Latino?
Something like that. I'm not very good with accents, I'll be honest here.
It's like I tried to ask you to play English and it comes out as like Irish for some reason.
Sometimes you just can't put the right accent on. Even though you visualize it right in your head, it just doesn't come out right.
This is kind of a learn on your feet kind of tutorial, and I'm pretty sure you actually can get snagged here. I will try not to, but again, that's what edits are for. Panicking.
Well, it's just going up and down scaffolding, I'm sure you'll do fine.
No, but you gotta jump over cars and everything and make it to the getaway van.
But there's arrows pointing down as well. It's like, they give you plenty of hints here.
Just gotta take it slow. Take it slow.
But everything's exploding. You can't just go slow in a situation like that. What would Sonic say?
I can do whatever the hell I like. Oh, jeez.
Boy, she actually got you there for a second.
Yeah, I thought it was tagged as well. Let exit, just in case you forgot where you were.
I'll get you next time, you blasphemous raccoon!
No subtitles in these in-game cutscenes for some reason. Everything else is, subtitled, but not these for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's a bit disappointing, really, because obviously you got all the subtitles and things like that during most of the in-game stuff, but
Yeah.
the cutscenes and, the things that go on, over the telestrators and things like that, it's all a bit not subtitled, and it's pretty hard to make out what some people are saying.
I guess I'll subtitle it for you, or at least summarise it, because we are going to be talking over it. The game revolves around the titular book, the Thievius Raccoonus, which Sly and the rest of his clan draw all their knowledge from, or at least a good portion of it. And it involves getting all the pages of the book back when it is stolen by the Fiendish Five, who I imagine will be making their appearance right now. There's all 5 of them.
Look how fiendish they look.
Oh, and it's one of these, this old chestnut. The kid has to watch their parent get destroyed. Not sure what happened to Sly's mum. I don't think she's even referenced in this game.
She was probably out somewhere.
Yeah. Man, that's going to be awkward to come home to.
It's just like, hey, I'm back from this grocery store, what the hell happened here?
Now, all of the Fiendish Five are, well, pretty fiendish, but Clockwork is the one you're going to want to look out for. He is a very, very pissed off mechanical owl.
As opposed to Dynablade.
Yes. Well, Dynablade was like, what, an eagle or a falcon?
It was very colourful is all it was, which, compared to Clockwork, is basically black and white in terms of difference. Both figuratively and literally.
Wait, isn't Dynablade female? Doesn't she have chicks?
I'm pretty sure... Yeah, but I was referring to Clockwork.
Well, that's Kirby and this is Sly. Speaking of Sly, his gang comprises of himself. You've got Bentley, who's the smart turtle guy, and the Murray, who is, the big pink hippopotamus. This series is weird.
Don't worry. But yes, Bentley's probably one of my favourite characters out of the trio, honestly. He has that right level of smarts and snark, which I can immensely appreciate.
And he's very nasally, so he's kind of like my spirit animal in a way.
I just like how he also uses those old phrases like man and dude and bro and things like that.
Yeah.
Gotta give respect for somebody who can geek out and at the same time use all these tubular phrases, as it were.
Alright, we're going after the first member of the Fiendish Five, Sir Raleigh, I believe.
Yes, Sir Raleigh. Born into a life of privilege, but then he decided he wanted to take up piracy. Not because, for any particular reason, he was just bored.
Oh god, those rich, well-to-do people who think, I'm just going to be a shit. I'm going to be a little shit today and ruin other people's good times. Also, I'll become a pirate.
Well, to his credit, he got a fancy hat out of the deal, so it can't have been too bad.
I suppose.
So, you may imagine that he is a bit of a mechanical maniac, as it were.
Mm.
So, his whole theme will be machines that do various things, like this weather control device type thing, which turned Welsh into something of a Bermuda Triangle.
Okay. Oh, I love these. The fucking, horror film kind of titles. I was going to say idents, but that's something else entirely.
Yeah, and I noticed I said Welsh when I should have said Wales, so don't worry, I'm making as many mistakes as you are right now.
Man, Rob Brydon is going to send us so much hate mail, you got no idea.
This is true. I'm going to be in trouble.
This is how the game's laid out. You go to a new location, you get what I like to call a setup level, which is basically like a kind of linear path to a hub, and then you get another selection of levels.
It's quite nice how they do that, actually, because it sort of gives you a taste of what the level might be like until you reach the destination, and it kind of just sets up all the atmosphere and things like that, so it kind of eases you into it all.
And this is a very kind of box-standard tutorial level. They kind of have to ease you in to the stealth stuff. It's not really as intensive as Metal Gear or Siphon Filter or anything like that, so don't worry if you're a bit crap at stealth, I don't know, Hell Dragon.
Babby's first stealth game, as they also say.
Well, that's kind of a disparaging term, but yeah, I agree.
It is a very good stealth game, really. I mean, it might be a bit simple, but it executes it quite well.
If you want, more hardcore stealth, 2 is more up your alley, but as we have established, I am crappy when it comes to stealth.
And Sly 2, in my honest opinion, it wasn't overly great. I mean, I played, maybe a few minutes of it, but I really couldn't get into it compared to 1 and 3.
Okay, so I've got to explain a couple of the collectibles here. These bottles that I'm collecting are clues. Once you get all the clues, clue bottles, as I will probably refer to them many times throughout the playthrough, you can open the vault that's hidden somewhere in the level, and then you get like a new move or an upgrade. And the coins, well, they basically give you health once you collect 100. Once you collect 100, you get like a horseshoe or a lucky charm. Collect another 100, I think that upgrades from a silver to a golden horseshoe, which basically gives you 2 hits before you're, bereft of horseshoe, and you die instantly when you get tagged. And I think if you have like the golden horseshoe and you collect another 100 coins, that nets you an extra life.
It just ramps up the goodies. So, what did you think of the clue system in general? Do you think it was pretty well executed here?
I like me some collectathon platformers, so it's pretty cool. It's an incentive to explore the level, and as a reward you get a new fancy move for your repertoire.
Yeah, and luckily they don't make them so that they're put in really unfair, hard-to-get places either. They're usually pretty out there in the open, or may provide a small challenge, and then you get upgrades later on that actually show you where the damn things are straight up with the binoculars. So, I would say in terms of collectathons, this rates up there as fair.
This is what you use to shut off the alarm system. Shasha!
It's a re-engineered fire hydrant or something.
And what I like about this particular section here is I didn't have to do that at all. I just bypassed it by jumping off there.
Yeah, otherwise you would have to go through all those searchlights and navigate the brambles, whilst having a shuriken walrus throw shurikens at you.
There's some big bees. I wonder if they'll come into play during the boss fight of the level.
Oh, who knows? Who can say? So yeah, this is Rally's blimp. We gotta get ourselves up there if we want to have our appointment with the most dapper of frogs.
That's not where I'd look for a frog, typically. I would more look for like a submarine or a boat. Somewhere on the water.
Well, I'd like to think that Rally, being the mechanical genius that he is probably smart enough to realise not to hide in the obvious place.
I'm not a stereotype, after all.
Except when he's doing the whole British thing, but we'll ignore that little thing.
Okay, now I've got to be careful, because if I get hit once, I'm dead.
Yeah, we don't have our horseshoes just yet. We've got to build up our armory, so to speak.
You will find... Oh, I like that, by the way. Like, Rally's hat on the coins. I wonder if that changes for the other levels. I honestly never bothered to check.
Yeah, me neither. This will be something we'll need to keep an eye out for on part 2, I suppose.
Wouldn't it be awful if I just fell down there?
It would. And, I'll make a bit of a confession here. I think I may have done so at one point, but that was only because it was my first Sly game ever and I wasn't entirely used to the controls yet, so... Rather embarrassingly, I think I may have died there.
How would you describe the physics of Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus trademark?
I would say they're pretty good, although they have a bit of a oddity to it. It's a bit difficult to describe, but I noticed when I was doing like some platforming stuff for the first 30 minutes of the game that sometimes I think I'd landed quite squarely on a platform, but then I'd sort of see myself slowly sliding off the edge, and then, if that was it, I lost a life, and I'm just like, huh. But luckily the physics are good enough that you can eventually compensate for it, but it takes a little bit of getting used to, at least it did for me.
They're a little bit floaty, I have to say. Like, not in a bad way, but it does definitely take a lot of getting used to.
Yeah, it's one of those not good, not bad, just something you have to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Like, you adjust to it sort of automatically, rather you just play through the game.
Once you get into a flow, it does feel great, though.
Absolutely. I mean, once I actually got to that point, I was just like, oh yeah, this actually controls pretty well.
Trying to go out of my way to get coins and such, because I want to build up some health as fast as possible.
Just armor yourself in horseshoes and just link them all together and just put yourself like a massive plate of armor or something like that.
Now that there is the key, which is basically the end point of the level. Like the portals Crash goes after in, Crash Bandicoot 1, I guess. We collect that and the level is basically over.
But we don't want to end it just yet. We've still got 2 more clue things to look for.
And I see them just there.
Now, one thing I should probably mention about the clues is when you collect them all, Bentley will call you up and he will give you the code for the vault. You may think that, oh, I just need to remember the number. Nope, it won't actually let you enter the vault at all until you've collected all 20, so no cheating in this collectathon.
Aww. Alright, 7, 9 and a 2.
And what riches await us?
Oh, a piece of paper.
Sly, I owe you 1 riches. Signed, Raleigh. But no, these are all pages of the Thievius Raccoonus. I suppose they're sort of like those odd sections, not like the main ones that all the Fiendish 5 have. So
yeah.
They're probably a bit like filler. It teaches you an odd thing here and there, but the meat of the book is apparently contained within the pages the Fiendish 5 have.
Yeah, you don't need to go out of your way to get these at all, but you will get an assortment of tasty moves if you do. And honestly, as a kind of like collectathon nut when it comes to these 3D platformers, why not, you know?
Well, it spices up the gameplay a bit, and it also just makes the gameplay that much easier, so there's not much reason not to, but if you get sort of like halfway through and figure, you know what, I just kind of like to do the platforming thing, then it gives you that option to do so. You're not in any way forced to do it, which I actually quite like.
And bingo bango, we are done with the first level of the game.
And like a shuriken. So I've got some good keyhole finding skills.
Alrighty, first hub a go-go.
Of course, we got our little segue into it as we come off into the horizon, and there she blows.
I really do like that. Like, you get a level to practice in, and then basically, boom, hub time.
Oh yeah. And this is essentially a village on a boat, which is, mechanically engineering speaking, quite impressive.
Wait, is it really on a boat?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can see it, yeah.
Like, how do you get an entire village on a boat? I mean, that is quite impressive. You gotta hand it to our froggy friend here. He certainly knows how to build a boat.
Don't praise the villain.
Well, you gotta give credits where it's due sometimes, you know. You gotta redeem them a little bit, because otherwise it's just, oh, he's a villain.
But he's a pirate, he's a terrorist.
Actually, I will say that you are partly right. Sir Raleigh actually doesn't have any sad backstory or anything like that. He literally just became a criminal because he wanted to,
oh,
and
shit.
It was fun. So, I think out of all of them, perhaps Raleigh is indeed the most fiendish of the Fiendish 5.
Sorry, I was trying to get a better look at the boat village and very nearly slipped off to my doom, like the tit that I am.
It's like the tourist's first visit to the Grand Canyon.
If you haven't noticed by now, yes, we are playing this live. Mostly because I just thought, hey, it's stealth and I'm terrible at stealth. That will lead to some yucks.
Oh yes, and of course I am here to provide some of those yucks live and in colour.
Oh yes. Wow, we've upgraded. It used to be in black and white. Oh, go to hell, Raleigh. I don't want to hear your bullshit right now.
So you may have noticed the guard patrolling around near the top there.
Mm-hmm.
And an interesting thing about this particular level is that we are split between walruses and squids. So, the walrus guards consist of hammer walrus, welding walrus, shuriken walrus, and belly walrus. Would you like to have a guess at what the squid guard's name is?
It's on the tip of my tongue. No, it's not coming to me. What is it?
HP Squidcraft.
Oh, go away.
No, it is absolutely true. I actually had to double check on the wiki just to make sure I wasn't pulling my leg. But no, it's true. The squid was the only one worth naming somewhat properly. But I suppose the walruses are a bit more en masse and expendable, I suppose.
Yeah.
Can't get too attached and start giving them names, otherwise it gets awkward.
I think what I like Sly Cooper 1 over 2 is that even if you're like caught, you can still have a decent chance of taking out the enemy, you know, instead of having to run away and, you know, actually do some stealth. In 2, it definitely emphasizes the stealth more, and I know this is counterintuitive given what genre Sly is, but I just kind of prefer the more arcadey way of, you know, whacking them with your little question mark stick and hey, they poof into a cloud of mystery gas.
I kind of like the way that it just gives you the options of sort of taking it slow, more subtly, and that if you're good enough and have your timings right, you can just literally go in and whack them before they even have a chance to realise what's going on.
Oh, you insomniac shits.
Well, to be fair, you didn't go all the way around.
Yep, true, that one is completely on NTom.
It would be a true insomniac moment if they literally hit it right behind you when you started the level.
Oh man, I'm sure we'll have a couple of those moments throughout the game.
Probably so. I mean, at this phase, pulling an insomniac seems to be a universal thing, not developer exclusive.
Oh, very close to getting the golden horseshoe right now.
Nearly there. And this will make life significantly easier for us. since 2 lives or 2 chances to get hit before you die is way better than 1 or none.
Thank you, mathematician Volk.
Well, that's why I'm here.
Okay, I think I got all of them. Let's have a look on my binoculars here. Oh, I'm at a terrible angle.
SliceNet can't go quite back that far.
Yeah.
It's like, I need to look higher up.
I think they gave you an out by just, like, smushing the bottles, you know, as they fall.
Yeah, that's true. Because that bit is actually pretty tricky, because obviously you gotta bounce to and from each one, and it would be a bit too much if they were also demanding that you have to hit them as well. So as long as you pretty much touch them, then you can plonk them down onto the ground and collect them at your leisure.
Oh, I do love a good 3D platformer assault course.
Especially one with electric propeller blades.
It's like a hydroelectric plant or something.
Well, this is actually the engine room of the boat, if I recall correctly.
Ah.
So this is where all the gears and other movement gubbins are kept.
Don't be too hasty, otherwise you'll get a taste of electricity and fans, and believe me, that combo is not particularly delicious.
If there's one thing that's worse than being sliced in half, it's being sliced in half whilst also being electrocuted.
Yeah, that's a bitch, I wouldn't recommend it.
Not that I would know, but, you know, just judging by how it sounds in your head, you don't want any of that, I don't think.
That's satisfying, that move right there.
Hey, just diving straight into him is damn satisfying, I have to say. I maybe used and abused that move a bit too much when I first got it.
Oh, so many laser beams.
Alright, you got the pattern down, you're fine.
Okay, Mr. Hammer Guy, I'm going to ask that you wait there while I collect clue balls.
So, oh, okay, I'll just hammer the ground over here.
Okay, I think I'm on the level right now.
Yep, I'm pretty sure you're okay. I think there's about 6 more bottles here or so. Actually, funny thing is that when I first started playing through this particular level, I actually missed 1 bottle, and it took me about 20 minutes to actually track it down.
Oh, was it at the start of the level?
I can't actually remember where I was. I think it was somewhere nearest the midpoint, and not where those bouncing things are either.
Ah.
It's one of those really, really awkward ones. But luckily, if you complete a level and don't get all the clue bottles, you don't have to start over from the beginning. You can pick up where you left off and only have to find the 2 or 3 that you might have missed.
That was mean. Luckily, it seems that I didn't lose 2 horseshoes in a row there, so kudos to you, Sly Cooper, and the Thievius Raccoonus trademark.
The invincibility thing is a little bit weird at first, but actually makes a whole lot of sense. So when you take damage whilst you have a horseshoe, you'll obviously lose your horseshoe, but then you'll get a brief moment of invulnerability, and whilst that invulnerability is going on, you cannot lose another horseshoe or a life if you're down that far. Even if you fall off, it'll just plonk you back on there and it won't actually penalise you again for it until the invincibility period is wore off. So very, very merciful, actually.
Oh, man. Booyah, baby. Only 2 more to go. I think they're over here in this little safe.
Yep, these little safes usually contain the clue bottles as well, so ransacking the place also highly encouraged. And besides that, it also just gives you coins as well, which who doesn't want more coins?
You kind of want to keep topped up on health, because, you know, the first world or hub, kind of simple. It will rank up in terms of difficulty as the game goes on.
So getting into a habit of it now, pretty damn good idea.
I can't believe I pieced this one together.
It was so hard.
2-7.
It's just like 5, 5, 5.
1, 2, 3. Okay, 2, 2, 7. Booyah, baby. Nothing but that.
And this is the ASDA receipt.
Old salad.
Oh, digging deep for those, aren't you, Volk?
Oh yeah, I'm hoping they'll get better as time goes on, but you know, I'm trying to save the good ones for later.
Hold down the triangle button to use this move.
So here we go. This particular move I love.
L2 and R2.
Probably one of my favourites, not gonna lie.
Gotta leave the calling card first, though, before we have NTom and Volk fun.
But I wanna use the new stuff!
Okay. That's how we switch between, and that's how we roll.
Not quite at the speed of sound, but it'll do.
How did no one catch it? I mean, this is fast, but it's not exactly supersonic speeds.
Although I do quite like that it seems to follow sort of like the whole slow down rolling physics as well, so kudos for accuracy in terms of that.
Ugh. Not sure if that's oil or something else.
Well, let's not think about that one too much, shall we?
Let's not.
Leave that to the overactive imaginations.
Okay, and I think we're at the end of the level now.
First we'll crash this thing right into this cog with lots and lots of fire.
Oh god, it's like a furnace.
You know, that's one thing that struck me as odd, how a level mostly themed around water and rain, it contains a lot of fire.
Well, you know, he is the machinist of the Fiendish Five.
Gotta smelt that iron and all that, I suppose.
Okay, apart from an instance of falling into lava, that went off without a hitch.
Yep, pretty damn good, can't argue with the results.
Fucking HP Squidcraft, I can't believe it.
You and me both. It just makes me wonder what the other names are going to be as we make our way through the game.
Oh, have you got the list right, though?
I do. I've got the list for level 1 at least, so I have it there for reference.
Tell you what, since you've got, like, all that stuff up, why don't you tell us who voices Sly and his crew?
Oh, I didn't actually get the voice actor names, unfortunately. I mostly picked up some information about the level itself more than anything else.
Well, you've got the wiki there, mate, so lay it on me.
Alrighty, let me take a look here.
I'm just doubling back to make sure I don't lose any clue bottles or miss any. There is actually an upgrade we can get in a little bit that will paste itself onto the HellfireComms and make finding like clues and destructible objects much easier, but unfortunately we have to get to that point first, so...
We'll get there before long. Ah, here we go. Sly Cooper happens to be voiced by one Kevin Miller. So let's see what he's actually been in.
And that's in the Thievius Raccoonus, yeah?
Yeah. I think he's also did it... Yeah, he's done it for all of them, so he's been Sly Cooper pretty consistently. Even in the All-Stars Battle Royale game.
What about that one crossover game featuring, like, Ratchet and fucking Jack?
Oh yeah, that's a good point. I would imagine so. Let me see if I can find it here. I don't actually remember the name of that game, though, is the problem. I know what it is, I just don't know the name of it.
Is it like PlayStation Move Heroes or something?
Yeah, here it is. Yep, same guy.
Just having some fun rolling around.
But yeah, he's not really known for much else, but he is the definitive Sly Cooper.
What's sad is I don't think he's voicing him in the movie.
Yeah, that seems a bit weird considering just how long he's been voicing the character for, and it'd be really disappointing if they didn't actually have him there to do the voice.
The art style in the movie is a little bit, like, too hyper-realistic furry for my liking.
Yeah, that's true. But it's not only that, but it's also when you get used to one person's voice for so long, and then all of a sudden what you're used to just changes, it just doesn't feel right. You need time to sort of be eased into that. And if they're changing it for a movie, it's going to be probably more than a bit jarring, really.
A little bit disrespectful to the original voice actor as well, yeah.
Well, there may have been personal reasons for him not doing it as well, though, so...
Now, I don't want to be too famous.
I don't want to be just known for Sly.
I don't want a movie paycheck, okay? I'm happy just slumming it in video games.
Is it interrupting the Belly Slam breakdance competition over here as well?
Postponed due to death. Sorry, that was a bit of a lame duck.
Well, it's true, so you can't really say it any other way than that, really. It just took me off guard a bit, is all.
Oh, I do love me some 3D platforming. Oh, I think I'm going to set off the alarms, but it's okay, because I was right there.
I can give you some more interesting tidbits about our good friend Sir Raleigh as well. And that he was actually the person who found the Thievius Raccoonus in the first place.
Ooh, really?
And the only reason you can tell that is during the scene where he grabs it, the hand that grabs it is a gloved hand, and nobody else in the Fiendish Five, aside from Raleigh, actually wears gloves, so... There you go, bit of tidbit of information there for you.
Thank you, Volk. Man, some of these spotlights can be kind of hard to see.
Yeah, it kind of depends on the lighting of the individual levels. Some are a little bit easier to find than others. Obviously, when they're glowing red, they're easy to find all the way around.
Yeah. But if they're glowing red, you've already fucked up, so...
Well, you do have a chance, it's just that, well, as soon as it touches you, you're pretty much fried.
Nope. No alarm action for you, good sir. Oh, just one more, and I think it's back here. Yep, there it is.
Luckily, it's not near the beginning of a level.
Alright, so let's backtrack a little bit and see what's in this particular vault.
What untold riches will it contain, I wonder?
I don't think this level was designed for rolling, so I'm just going to be careful. Don't want to have too much fun.
Well, at least the lasers aren't coming around now, so your hopscotch game doesn't have to be quite as on point.
Just in case you're wondering, yes, if you fall into water you will die if you don't have any Lucky Charms or horseshoes on hand.
And then straight back to the checkpoint for you, sir.
I've got to get this live first.
It's taunting you. I mean, the disembodied head of Sly bouncing around like, ha, you can't get me.
Kinda creepy, yeah.
Tis a bit.
Yeah, I'm rolling back to the vault, what of it?
Rolling down the stairs.
Booyah.
That's going to cause a few bruises.
Whoever thought this code up knew what they were doing. Dial in 436.
Okay.
436 would be a little bit tricky to just guess on a whim, so I suppose we can count that one as they knew what they were doing.
For a 3-digit vault, what do you think the number of total combinations would be?
Oh,
A lot.
it's just like, nope. My brain has completely stopped.
Here we go, blueprints. I think this only counts for like the particular world you're in, but when you find like blueprints in a vault, it will add a little thing to the binoculars where you can see clue bottles you haven't picked up yet. They'll be like green reticles when you look through the binoculars, and like breakable stuff is red, I believe.
Yep, that's right. So if you knew kind of what was in there to begin with, it would be a really handy idea to sort of go after those things first. But of course, going for it the first time, you don't really know. So obviously you'll probably get about the halfway point, which will be handy for finding the other half, but you can't just necessarily cheese it unless you knew ahead of time what safe contained what item.
Yeah, I'm not sure if like what vault gives you what is tied to what level, or is it like the order?
Yeah, that's a good point actually, we may have to look that up at some point. And then Hopscotch Part 3.
I am the hopscotch champion. That's why Rally's pissed. He's just jelly.
Your hop game is stronger than his.
Yeah.
He's letting down his own kind.
That is the Sly Cooper family secret, actually. The Cooper legend. Actually part frog.
Shaming your greatest strength, that is the Cooper way.
And done.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Hell yeah, I'm a thief. Ugh, this is a fun game.
It is very, very fun. It has a good level of charm to it as well, which I can always appreciate.
I probably should have mentioned this like right at the start, but we're playing the HD Collection version of the game. The HD Collection was developed by Sanzaru Games, who I believe developed Sly 4 Thieves in Time. The regular series is developed by Sucker Punch.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Sly, Thieves in Time wasn't exactly the most well received of the Cooper games, unfortunately.
I'm just not a fan of the art style. It's like, Jesus.
Yeah, when you get used to it in Sly 1, 2, and 3, and then suddenly it just changes. I mean, it's like I said about the whole voice actor thing. It's just... it doesn't seem right.
Not my Sly.
I hope your disguise game is on point.
You motherfuckers.
Yep, there we go. Well, it was almost. You kind of got a glimpse of it as you ran through, so... it's a semi-Insomniac, I think.
2 out of 10 on the Insomniac scale.
To go 10 out of 10, it's just like...
Those rats got paid.
you need to be a special kind of Insomniac to do that. Probably even Insomniac.
Okay, so what's the deal with this level, Vault?
So, we obviously need to get past these dart traps, because otherwise we're going to be a dartboard for the next World Darts Championship here.
Yeah.
So, luckily, there's a conveniently placed barrel here. And that'll be our way of getting through without being turned into a pincushion.
Yeah, I'd rather not, if it's all the same to you. There's still plenty of treasures left in the sea to collect, also many on land.
One thing that many people may not know if they've not played this before is that this is the only barrel we have. We need to make sure that we take this barrel throughout the entirety of the level. We cannot drop it for any reason. We need to take it with us from beginning to end.
Does it respawn, though, if you somehow happen to lose it?
I believe if you hit a checkpoint, you do actually get a barrel sort of like within a few steps. So, if you end up dying, it's not entirely like, oh, I have to go back to the beginning just to collect this barrel I had earlier.
See, look, there's some clue bottles on the horizon there. One thing, well, two things you can't do while you're in the barrel is, one, you can't attack, and two, you can't use the binocular. So you've got to strategize when you're going to, like, come out of cover.
Yep, it's pretty much one of the first proper stealth sections in the game, I would say. But not stealthy in terms of making sure you're not detected, it's more of a point that you need to be careful in how you approach things.
Like that, was that careful enough, though?
About 2 out of 10 on subtly, but 8 out of 10 for style.
Oh man, you're so stingy when it comes to giving me kudos and points.
Well, I don't just give them out for free, you know. You gotta look at it comparatively.
So how did you fare when it came to stealth in this game? We've already talked about how it's kind of lightweight, and I mean that in sort of like the best way possible. It's a perfect, like, beginner's stealth game, but how did you fare?
I fared pretty well, though then again I do have a little bit of experience with like Metal Gear Solid and things like that, so this sort of thing wasn't entirely new to me. It was just sort of getting used to sort of how it's executed here, so once I got the hang of that, the rest of the stealth section were cake.
I don't think I want to go over there without dismantling those things, so let's backtrack and get our bloody barrel.
I think the only reason why they made it so you had to take the barrel through the entire level is to develop some kind of emotional attachment.
Oh, Barrel, you're the only one who understands me.
You're the only one that lets me inside you.
Oh, Jesus, they're going to bump this up from PG to M. Actually, what rating was Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus originally?
I'll need to look that one up, honestly, because I do not know. Let me take a look-see here.
Man, there's a lot of, like, clue balls close to each other in this level.
Yeah, they like to be in clusters, you know, you don't want to leave them on their own, you gotta make sure they have plenty of company.
Well, it's the thing in, like, 3D platformers, you have to make collecting stuff satisfying, so you can either have it, like, one every mile or so, or you can have none and then, like, huge clusters to make it satisfying.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, I haven't seen one in a while, then suddenly 3 at once.
Oh, yeah, it's like a bus.
And to answer your question from before, Sly is rated E, I believe.
Ah.
So everybody can enjoy this family-friendly game.
Everyone can enjoy the stealth.
You know, that's not if me and you end up corrupting it by the end of this affair.
Oh, I'll do my best, good sir, I'll do my best.
Oh, jolly good, because I couldn't do it on my own, I can tell you that much for nothing.
We obviously can't use the weapon while we're in here, so we've got to break that and then get back into the barrel.
Yeah, oddly enough, while you're in a barrel, you can break a glass bottle just by touching it, but tipping over books is apparently asking for far too much.
HP Squidcraft, honestly, I can't get over that.
I know, it's just like, and considering where we are as well, you can imagine that some of his works are contained somewhere in this library.
I thought you said Slibrary for a second there. Like, Sly, you actually named your library? Yes, the Slibrary.
No, I'm not quite that bad with the name puns.
More of a me thing, really.
Well, I do pick it up a bit. There's a bit of the habit shining through, but I keep it under wraps, luckily.
Oh, I'm a bad influence.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
I think we're doing good so far.
Just depends on whether you want to go on ahead and collect the bottles first, I suppose.
Huh.
Well, we may as well get the barrel down there at the very least.
Yeah, might as well, because we'll have to come back anyway.
Exactly. I always found this bit a little bit precarious, because it's just like, you're taking a barrel with you over something that's teetering ever so slightly. If you fall off, you gotta go through that nonsense all over again.
I have to say, I friggin' love the context-sensitive music. Like, whenever Sly tiptoes, the music goes with him. Or at least when he's in a barrel. Here, let me show it off. There we go.
I also like the little sound effects that sort of like go do. Like, the whole sound design in this game I felt was pretty damn good, honestly.
Yeah, the music switches to like a battle version of the level's theme whenever you're encountering an enemy. Which is something I wish Sonic Unleashed did, instead of switching to like a fucking ear-assaulting battle kind of thing.
Suddenly, battle cry, ah! And then suddenly it's quiet again.
Alright, I'm gonna go the long way around, because fuck you, I don't follow conventions.
You also gotta put up the video time, haven't you, Tom? Oh, you fumbled at the end. You didn't go the long way in the last one.
Again, I don't follow conventions, not even my own.
So what have we got here, then?
Outstanding! Another page from the Thievius Raccoonus.
Def Cooperinda. Slow motion jumps.
The Matrix jump.
It's what it just says. It's just the whole page is just lined up with like all those Matrix sort of green letters or whatever. It's just like, he is the one.
Well, let's give this a little look-see. Jumping off here will probably work best.
Yeah, that's pretty slow-mo.
Yeah, but I like my roll, so I'm going to stick with the roll.
I mean, the roll's just too much fun not to want to be a part of, you know?
I saw that pop in, don't think I didn't.
Yes, unfortunately, I think Slide was a fairly early PS2 game, so it's going to have some flaws in that regard, I think. Or it may just have something to do with how the HD version was built, for lack of a better word.
I know Slide 2 and 3 have, like, aspect ratio issues. Like, the borders, the black borders, or whatever they're called, the letterboxing, doesn't really work right, so you can still see parts of the game when it's meant to be covered by borders.
Ah, that ain't good.
I think it's 2 and 3, it may just be 2.
I don't think I actually noticed it in 3, so that might just be me having so much fun I wasn't really paying attention.
No, you're one of those kind of gamers, are you, Volk? I'm having so much fun. I don't recognise or notice any flaws in games.
Well, not quite that bad, but, you know, minor things like that, especially when you play, like, older games, like I do, where you sort of get used to that sort of thing, it just sort of becomes part of the experience, really.
Yeah, I'm just ribbing you, mate.
It's fine, it's fine. So, are we going to try and roll in this thing?
You bet your sweet bubby we are, mate.
We're going to hamster ball this thing.
Something good might happen if I can get the wheel to spin fast enough.
See, Bentley explains it in kind of a PhD manner. Slide dumbs it down.
You gotta appreciate it, though. It plays to the trope quite well.
Yeah, fuck you. I'm rolling.
Let's try as well. Impressive.
Hell yeah, buddy.
You've been practicing this one off off video, aren't you?
Nah, man. I'm just naturally good at rolling. What can I say? It's the Sonic in me.
I suppose so. I mean, the years of experience have got to count for something, right?
Well, you'd hope so, wouldn't you?
Alright, the fire's down below.
Another fire level? Jesus. This frog better be breathing fire when I get to him.
It turns out the frog is actually a dragon.
Oh, man, that'll be a twist of the fucking century.
It really, really would, although I think for the first level I don't think we have to worry about any dragon transforming reptilians.
Alright, keep a lookout for the bottles. Huh, I wonder where the bottle could be.
I don't know, can't see, you may have to zoom in. So the fire's down below takes place in what I would assume to be the power source of the particular boat. Obviously we have the engine room, but the power's got to come from somewhere, and I imagine this is exactly where the magic happens, so to speak. Though, as I say, a bit too much fire for my liking.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that in like the brochure comments. Like, too much fire, not nearly enough water.
8 out of 10.
Man, it's just so satisfying to take down enemies in this game. The thing with Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus trademark is, if you're too, like, hasty, enemies just will have their way with you every single time. So let them get their attack animation out of the way first and counter.
Yeah, they kind of put a lot of emphasis on that because the enemies actually start their attacking animation long before they're actually in range of you, at least early on, so you sort of have a rough time to scout out exactly what's going on before you approach them. Which is meant to be the idea, although sometimes you just want to go all John Rambo on them.
Nah, mate, sit down.
In the lava, no less.
Ugh. Well, at least I knocked him out first so he didn't feel like Gollum style.
You were merciful.
Okay, so there's plenty up there. I guess while we're in like a fire-based level, I may as well point out Flame is not here because I asked him and he said, "Nah, mate, it's not anime enough, you know."
Bloody weeb.
He's not here. He declined. I can pounce on him and deliver scathing commentary as much as I like.
There we go. Something we'll have to take advantage of for the next 5 hours.
Oh, I wish I'd chosen a better word than pants. I don't know why that was the first word that came to mind.
It's alright, you got plenty of time to redeem yourself later down the line. It'll be fine.
Oh shit.
So I suppose whilst we're in a sort of a platformy environment here, I should probably ask you, what was the first platforming game you actually played?
Oh, like overall or just like 3D?
I guess we'll go with 3Ds considering 2016 is going to be the old PlayStation platformers theme.
I get this is overall again, right?
Yeah.
It would either be Sonic 1, for the Master System, or Alex Kidd.
Ah, do you mean Alex Kidd in Miracle World?
It's the one that's built into the Master System itself.
Yeah, that would be Miracle World.
I just got a new console. I wanted to try it out. I didn't realise there was magic built into the system.
Just suddenly, there's a game in here and I haven't even put in a cartridge.
Oh man, gaming is off to a good start.
Alright then, what about in terms of PlayStation platforms then? Because obviously you got like your Crash and your Spyro and things like that. Where was your introduction to the PlayStation platformer?
It would probably be either Crash or Spyro.
Excellent. For me, Ratchet and Clank. Obviously I did play a bit of Crash Bandicoot as well, but Ratchet and Clank was what kind of got me interested enough to try it.
Oh, you got into Sony kind of late then, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, although then again I was in my RPG phase around the PS1 era, so obviously I was so tied into Final Fantasy 7, 8 and 9 that I didn't really have time for much else.
Oh, you like 9 like Mexi likes 9, right?
Actually 8 was probably my favourite overall, so I'm one of those sorts of people.
It's a bold choice, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off.
Well, I just dig the entire aesthetic, you know, when you're in secondary school and suddenly you just imagine being in a school where you get to be a badass with a gunblade.
I ain't judging you. I'm just saying, I don't even play the FF games. The only Final Fantasy game I've ever completed is Crisis Core.
Pretty good choice, though.
You may proceed to judge me now.
Oh no, that's absolutely fine. Although, to be fair, if you played Crisis Core, you may have a better idea of what goes on in Final Fantasy VII if you eventually decide to play it.
That's probably not going to happen. The remake looks snazzy, though.
Oh yeah, I'm totally going to be playing that, like, non-stop. I've been looking forward to something like that happening for so long, you have no idea.
Okay, gotta stealthily make our way past these lights.
Get a bit of a workout as well on the old treadmills that don't actually work from what I can see.
I'm so tempted to roll past it, but I know I'm just gonna get caught and lasered.
You're gonna fly off a bit too far and fall into the lava.
YOLO. Booyah. Now, you have a bit of a time-saving trick for this level, don't you?
Yep. If you collect the key, you can, when you go out the level, you can just go straight back in, and that takes you to the beginning of the level. And as I said before, all your clues and such are saved, so here's you have to just enter the level, and if the vault happens to be right at the start, pretty much crack that open, exit out the level, jobs are good 'un.
Yeah, pro strats. I kind of wish it didn't forcefully eject me back onto the ground, though. Oh well.
Yeah, that's more of a flaw of the level more than anything else. I suppose they had to put it up there to make it a bit interesting to get to.
It is the flaw of the game designer. David Cage, what are you doing here? Go away. I want David Cage to make a 3D platformer.
Oh god. Why do you wish these things upon us?
Although there was sort of pseudo-platform-esque like bits in his games.
Yeah, I guess so, although it's very bare bones, I will say that.
It's got to be 5, 7.
No code can stand before me.
He gets increasingly bombastic with his proclamations, does Bentley.
Oh yeah, well, he's probably thinking he's on a roll at this point. He's got to be pretty pleased with himself.
Dear Sly, I owe you one upgrade.
Interesting.
Help, I'm trapped in a clue-making factory.
This move is an extension of the dive move you already know.
Ah, nice.
Just jump and hit the triangle button near breakable objects.
You know when the camera's zoomed in on Sly's model here? They did what they could with the HD, like, up-resing and such, but I can still blatantly tell that it's a PS2 model.
Up-resing can only do so much. Although you do usually get 60 frames out of it in a better resolution. So,
yeah. I believe this does run at 60 FPS, and if it doesn't, well, fuck it. I'm putting it on YouTube at 60 anyway.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 60, at least from my experience.
Okay, now I'm cool with that ejection. So we can go to the second part of the hub now. They basically work in like halves. Do the hubs in Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus. You get like a few keys here, and then you access like the second half of the hub, and then you go fight the boss.
It's a pretty decent system, I think, because it kind of encourages you to properly have a look around one area before going straight into the other. Plus, it kind of, like I said, it goes off on that whole introducing the level slowly kind of thing, so you had like your lead up to the hub world, then the first part of the hub world, then the second part, and then the boss. It all comes together very nicely.
Doomed to failure.
You know,
Oh,
tell me
Bentley,
I
can you
myself
put
out.
Murray on? I think he's going to be a bit more in the zone here.
Now you
You'd be a bit more optimistic, that's for damn sure.
Well, you know, there's a fine line between pessimism and realism. That's what I always keep telling myself.
Then again, we get to shoot ourselves out of a cannon, and that's gotta be fun, right?
You show me those hollow what's-its.
Hollow, what's it?
Always gotta dumb it down, don't we? It's like, hey, my specialty is thieving and acrobatics.
And beating up enemies.
Oh yeah,
And doing just about everything else.
that's the move we got, I believe.
Yep, so if we want to go on a mass breaking spree, we've got the move just to accomplish that.
Oh, not enough keys yet, but I believe there's a glitch where you can actually bypass all this and get into, like, the cannon. I'm not entirely sure how you do it, it's very precise.
It's one of those AGDQ sort of things, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do it, so let's look at the pretty animation again, and then move on.
I still say Sly is so stylish with those keys.
Throws them like a shuriken, like a ninja star.
He does it in a fan as well, which is even more impressive.
Oh, do I want that life? Yes, I do.
It's only going to creep you out if you leave it there.
12 decapitated sly heads.
He's going to be able to run his own voodoo workshop by the time he's done.
Ooh, voodoo. Keep that in mind for later.
Oh yes. Not to spoil anything.
You know what I'm gonna say. HP Squidcraft. I can't get over it.
It's going to be the theme. Like, even when he's not in the level, we're just going to think about it.
Who voices like the other members of Sly's crew, which I asked you earlier, by the way. I didn't just want the deets on the main man himself. I need to know who voices Bentley and who voices Murray.
Alright, so, Bentley, voice actor. Happens to be a man by the name of Matt Olson.
Name's not ringing a bell.
Let me see, what else has he done other than Sly? Let's see here. Apparently he's listed for additional voices in Lightning Returns.
Goody.
Seems to be a whole lot of Bentley, judging by the IMDb.
Well, he sells the fuck out of that role, so kudos to him.
Yeah, true that. Although I could swear that I heard someone very, very similar to him somewhere else, but maybe that's just my imagination or he plays the trope very well.
Yeah.
Alright, and good old Murray.
The Murray.
Da Murray.
I don't think he starts calling himself that until the second game.
Alrighty then.
What's interesting is it actually locked my binocular comms while Raleigh was talking. I guess he just didn't want me spying out clue bottles ahead of time.
Alright, and Murray is voiced by Chris Murphy, and I almost read that as Chris Murray, which I was like, wait, really?
I kind of want those clue bottles, but I should probably be responsible and take down the alarm system first.
Yeah, you probably should. This is probably one of my favourite levels, though, from the first set of stages. I just like the whole plane and ship graveyard thing he's got going.
Yeah, it's all the ships and whatnot that friggin' Sir Raleigh's taken down with his storm machine. That's what we're trying to put out of business here. We're not just thieves, we're also like freedom fighters. What the...
Is that like a Metroid?
Okay, gonna relive that in my nightmares tonight.
Just eyeballs watching you floating ever so malevolently.
Right, come on, Ninja Man, I know you're there. Whoa, he's got good aim with those things.
Luckily they don't home in on you.
Don't they?
No, they don't. The only ones that home on you are the guards' projectile attacks. So if you get caught by a guard searchlight and they show you, those ones home in. But with a typical ranged attack, they have a set path.
Death from above, sucker.
Clonk.
Obviously this isn't going to be like a no-hit run, and I'm not going to stress out too much if I get, like, clonked once or twice, but if I start dying, like, repeatedly, your old pal NTom will get to editing.
Comms just wanna have fun.
Oh, Volk, always with a song in your heart.
Well, there's not a whole lot else in there.
It's just black and vacuous.
But at least it's good music.
Oh yeah. What's your genre of choice?
My genre of choice. Well, I do rather like my RPG, although I don't really have a genre I specifically favour more than others. It's more of a case of how it represents itself. So, if a genre can do something that's unique, then I'll usually dig that. Like, I'm not normally one for first-person shooters, But a game like Borderlands, for instance, which all combines RPG elements in on top of that, and really cool humour, that I can get behind. So even though that's sort of a genre I wouldn't normally go to, the game presents itself in such a way that makes it fun.
Yeah. As for me, it'll probably be a 3D platformer and action RPG.
I believe at one point you actually wanted to try and get a 3D platforming marathon going, correct?
Uh-huh. I was considering making a 3D platformers channel, honestly.
Really? Was this back when you first started making HFC, or just kind of thinking, what could I do?
Roughly around the time I made the non-com channels.
Ah, so this was something that came a bit after then.
Yeah.
It's such a shame you can't just cheat your way out of these saves. They thought of everything.
Bit of a sloppy run through this level, but it was quick, and that's what matters in the end.
Yep, we got our page from Haran Cooper Giwa. I can't even think what nationality that would be.
Oh, okay. This is why I hadn't got the 3D platformer trope of having things miraculously magnetized to me.
There you go, they explain it in a weird way that I suppose would make sense in the theme of the world.
Yeah.
At least it's explained and it doesn't just miraculously happen like some kind of pseudoscience.
Yeah, I need realism in my game about furry themes, you know?
Well, you gotta make it somewhat believable. I mean, a walking, talking raccoon that steals things, yes, but magnetizing collectibles to your body, no, that's just going a step too far.
That's just right out. Oh man, I want to look at... This is some good scenery right here.
The finest skybox you ever did see.
Oh, the live respawns, that's interesting.
Yeah, they grew a new one.
Ugh.
It's like they have test tubes there, and it's just like, oh, we're collecting another one, better get the next one in there.
Damn man, I'm taking all the hits in this playthrough.
You bounced around all over the damn place.
Well, it's going to be a fun time against Rally then.
We should be fine. I think you can actually collect the horseshoe from the first section as well, if you aren't overly confident.
Ah, okay, well let's do this level.
Well, may as well, it's literally right there in front of us.
Now, in each, like, kind of hub/world, there will be a sort of mini-game for you to take on. Some are better than others. This one, I would say, is roughly around the middle in terms of quality.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing you gotta worry about is that sometimes those crabs can be a bit too quick, especially if you let too many of them on the screen at once, but my strategy for this is usually just go for the crabs and the chests will come by themselves.
These crabs are basically in cahoots with Rally, and they're trying to spirit away his treasure. We want that treasure, we need that treasure, so we're going to assault every single crab imaginable.
I'm not entirely sure why we need them. I suppose we just empty out all the loot around this thing until we can just sort of go up that little rock and grab the key, I suppose.
Don't let a single one get away.
No, they're very unforgiving. You can't let one get away, otherwise that's it, you gotta start all over again.
I will need you to be my second set of eyes for this one, if you could please, Volk.
I shall do my best. Like I said, just keep an eye out for the orange crabs and make sure they take priority over all else. Could be your motivational coach.
I love the funky music in this.
It's a nice little distraction. I mean, for the mini-games, I suppose you can forgive the foregoing of ambiance for the sake of making it cool.
Keep your mitts off me, treasure.
Keep your bits off me, gold.
No.
Another weird thing is that if you get to a crab just as he's about to crawl in and you happen to get the chest just kind of disappears, but it still counts. So luckily, they have to be completely in and have the door shut on them to fail it. So you get a little bit of time, more than you would think, to rescue a treasure chest from the clutches of those crabs.
It's picking up a bit now.
Yeah, well, you're almost there. Like I said, just keep going at the crabs, you'll be fine.
Oh,
You got him.
that was very close.
Clutch moment right there.
That was clutch.
It'll make it more entertaining in the end, so...
No crab gets left behind.
No crab gets left alive.
Okay, you said there was a horseshoe in the first part?
Yeah, in one of the windows. So if you go back to where the extra life was, on the window on the opposite side, there'll be a horseshoe you can grab onto.
Oh, in this part of the hub or the first part?
First part.
Okay.
So go back through the tunnel. Kind of reminds me of Metroid Prime.
Yeah, the morph ball.
Yep. Here you go, just over there. If you jump onto that tree thingy there, then there's a horseshoe just waiting for companionship.
Sweet. A little bit of insurance, you know, for the boss.
Well, you don't want to take too many chances. I mean, he is the first boss, but he's not exactly a pushover.
I'd rate him a solid 6 on the tougher meter.
I mean, it's simple, but you kind of got to make sure you get the timing right, because he's pretty strict on that sort of thing.
Okay, now we've got all the keys. We can unlock the cannon, Mario 64 style.
Except this one probably has better accuracy.
God save my little broken body.
And this is where you find out that the windows of the blimp are double glazed, and you just sort of go...
No, it's just transparent aluminum, it's not even glass.
That tricksy frog.
How delightful.
Just look at that hat. It's so dapper.
Do you resonate with this limey frog, Volk?
Not quite, but I do like the random shouting that he comes up with.
It's like, oh, I'm so insanely rich. I just have a temper tantrum every other day, and no one questions me because I have fat loot to give out.
Well, you're implying that he's giving it out.
We should have snuffed you out as well.
So, one fun fact as well about Raleigh here is that he is one of 6 British villains in the Sly series.
Yeah, there's a lot of limey villains in the Sly Cooper series.
Yeah, you got Arpeggio from Sly 2, Dr. M and Black Baron from Sly 3, and Miss Decibel in Sly 4. So, there's quite a selection to choose from.
One of those was a spoiler, so I may bleep that out when it comes to doing the post-editing, but you can be forgiven for not knowing.
Fair enough. The wonders of editing. Erasing mistakes since... I don't even know when editing was first introduced.
Oh, with HellfireComms. Actually, we didn't do editing to begin with.
No, I mean, I imagine that's how most people usually begin, though.
And the trick with Rally here is I would honestly not recommend running around the platform like this, because I kind of become desynced with his jumps. So just like, wait for him to jump, and then just like kind of run underneath.
And usually he has a set number of jumps in each phase, so if you're feeling yourself getting stuck, just count the number of jumps, and in that way, you know exactly when to go in and whack him.
I think for this last bit, he just wants us to play a game of, like, skip rope.
Yep. It's demonstrating to you that he is, in fact, the hopscotch champion.
Bye! I didn't even need that horseshoe.
Nope, but, like I said, insurance is the best policy.
Gloat all you want, Sly Cooper.
I wanted, like, an underwater, like, voiceover sound effect for this. Like, match-free mugshot.
Mesa City is so
well guarded, a snake couldn't slither in.
I love this bit. There. Why is it so goofy? Whatever. Ryoichi Cooper, one of our Asian ancestors, I guess.
And one of the upcoming protagonists for the next Assassin's Creed game, I heard.
I love the fact you can see Clockwork in the background of these things.
Yeah, he's in the background of each and every one of these, so keep an eye out for him. And of course we've got to have this bit as well. Catching of the villain.
Poor Carmelita. Not fast enough to catch Sly, but, you know, the runner-up prize is one of the Fiendish Five.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you can't argue with that. I mean, it looks good on your resume.
Oh, Sly, really? The crown jewels? Robbing the Tower of London?
Well, I don't actually believe this is England because it's not still raining. Like, the whole twist is there was never a weather control device. It was just because it's Britain.
Oh, Volk. Okay, I guess we're going to take a break here. These episodes will be pretty long. We'll be doing like an episode per, but that's it for today, guys. So please come back next time where we'll be travelling to good old Yankland to track down a mugshot in Mesa City, Utah. Bye for now.
See you later.